and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to give you a tour of my new Google Sheets goal planner and habit tracker template. These two files already exist in my shop as two separate templates. There's the ultimate goal planner and then there's the ultimate habit tracker. But recently I've gotten a lot of requests to merge these two files together as a single template. So I went ahead and did that, and in this video I'm going to give you a tour of what this new template looks like. So if you're interested, you can keep on watching, and if you would like to purchase a template, you can find the link to it in the description, but you can also just watch this video to get inspired and create your own spreadsheets. So let's get into it. In the template, you're going to find three main tabs. You have your 12-month calendar, you have your goal planner, and then you have your habit tracker. So it all starts in the 12-month calendar, and it's initially undated. This is what it looks like. So you get to decide the month and the year in which you want this calendar to begin, and it can be absolutely any month, any year. And what you're going to use this tab for is to brainstorm, brain dump, and get every single one of your goals for that year out of your head. And you can type whatever you want here. It's not connected to anything. It's not set in stone. It's just a place where you can brainstorm. And doing this is optional. You could also do it on paper. But the reason why I included it is, at least for me, whenever I get things out of my head, I feel so much better. My mind is clear and I can make better decisions. So hopefully after this exercise, you'll feel that way too. And it'll be easier for you to decide what are the goals that you're going to be working on next. And once you have that, you're going to jump into the goal planner and you're going to add those goals in here. So this is what it looks like blank, and what you're going to do here is you're going to type in your goal, and then you're going to double click down here and you're going to set a deadline, and you're going to notice that this section over here gets filled out automatically with your goal and your deadline, the number of days left, and you can pick any deadline that you want. The template is not tied to any particular month or year, and you can work on a maximum of 5 goals at a time. Once you're done with those, you can just create a new copy of the tab and keep going. So as you can see, every single one of your 5 goals gets a section that looks like this. So for each of your goals, you're going to fill out this information right here. And the way I structured this is this section to the left is meant to help you connect emotionally with your goal. And then the section to the right is meant for the actual things that you need to do to make this happen. So as you can see, you start by assigning the area of your life that this belongs to. Then you're going to imagine what your life will look like when you accomplish this. And you're going to write down a sentence or a couple of sentences that describe that. And then down here, you're going to take a moment to think about why you want this, why you want to accomplish this. And I like to write this down so that I can come back and read this whenever life gets hard. Maybe I'm not as motivated. Maybe I'm just not doing the things that I should be doing to accomplish this. So when that happens, which it does quite often, I can come back here and read this and remind myself of the reason why I'm putting in all this effort. And then down here, there's a section meant to help you measure your success. So if your goal has any number related to it, for example, getting healthier, it could be your personal healthy weight, or it could be a certain number of subscribers, or it could be related to money. So anything that's numeric, you can add that here. And then down here, there's a space for links and inspiration. So you can add images, you can add links, you can add notes, quotes, anything that you want that will inspire you. So this section right here, as I mentioned, is meant to help you connect emotionally with your goal. And then the section to the right is meant for specific things that you need to do to make this happen. So in this first table, you're going to make a list of the habits that you need to implement in your life and that will support you in achieving this goal. So you're going to make a list of the habits and you're going to add a frequency to them. And down here, this is my favorite part because this is where you're going to break down your goal into specific actions, specific things that you need to do to make this happen. And each of these steps is going to have a specific deadline. So you double click and you assign a deadline. And once you're done with one, you can use the checkboxes to track your progress. So this section down here, this is a roadmap for future you to follow. And then the habits section, these are the things that you need to commit to and that you need to do constantly. So once you're done with the first goal, you can move on and do the exact same thing for each of your 5 goals. And you don't have to do all 5. You can do less if you want. So that's all you're going to edit. And then everything else is automated. If you keep scrolling to the right, you're going to find summaries. So the first summary, it gets created automatically and it belongs to the habit section. So what you're going to be seeing here is a list that joins together every single one of the habits that you added to each of your goals. So in the end, you get one big list of habits. You can see the frequency and you can see the goal that they are related to. And then over here, you're going to see this same list, but it's going going to be grouped so that you can see the habit that shows up the most at the top. So as you can see over here, wake up early, that shows up 3 times. It shows up here, it shows up here, and it shows up here. So if waking up early is going to have a positive impact on 3 of my goals, I might as well get started with that. So this table right here, this is what's going to help you decide what your priorities in terms of habits should be. And then if you scroll to the right, you're going to see a summary for your pending action steps. So every single one of the steps that you add for each of your goals in these tables down here, these milestones, they are going to be joined together automatically in a single list over here. And you're always going to be seeing the closest deadline at the top, so you always know what's the thing that you should be working on next. And if you scroll to the right, you're going to be seeing the same information but in a calendar. It's initially undated, so you get to decide the start date by double clicking on this cell. You pick a start date, and then every single one of these action steps, these pending action steps, are going to be displayed in this calendar over here. And this calendar is dynamic, so you can change the start date as often as you want, so you can always keep the current week at the top, for example. So that's all there is to this goal planner tab. You can create as many copies of this tab as you need. And if you want to take it one step further and track that you're actually following through with your habits, I also included a habit tracker in these new templates. So if you jump into the habit tracker tab, you're going to find a 12-week habit tracker that can start on any date that you want. All you have to do is double click here and it'll start on a random Wednesday if you want it to. And then you're going to decide how many weeks you want to track. There's a maximum of 13 weeks, and once those 13 weeks are over, you can create a new copy of this tab. And I call this a 12-week habit tracker, but I actually added 13 weeks in case you needed an extra one. So if you scroll to the right, you're gonna see all 13 weeks get filled out automatically with dates. And what you're gonna find in this tab is a section meant for your habits, and then a section meant for numeric trackers. So things like number of hours that you slept, the number of pages that you read, you can track that here. And then below each week, you also have a weekly to-do list and room for notes. And each of these sections can have as many rows as you need. So this section at the top, this is the main feature of the habit tracker tab. And what you're going to do here is you're going to add your habits. You can either add them manually, or you can jump into your goal planner tab and select this list, copy the habits that you want to start implementing right away. And then you jump into your habit tracker tab. It's going to be initially empty, and you're going to right click, paste special, values only. You're gonna do it this way so that the formatting isn't messed up. So you're gonna bring your habits in here, and then you're gonna decide how many times per week you want to complete each of these habits. So you don't have to do every single one of these things every day if you don't want to. You can decide the number of times per week that you want to complete each of these habits. You can start small, and what's going to happen is once you check the same number of boxes that you set as your goal, you're gonna reach 100%. So that's gonna happen for every single one of these habits. And this same number that you added as your weekly goal is going to get added to every single week after that. So you can leave these values as they are and follow the exact same routine, or you can replace these values with a new weekly goal, and then every single week after that is going to get updated automatically. So I liked this system because you don't have to commit to doing absolutely every single thing every single day, and it's dynamic so that every week you can make adjustments if you need to. So if that routine wasn't working for you, you can make adjustments until you find the right balance. So once you fill it out a bit more, it's going to end up looking something like this. And if you need to track different groups of habits separately, you can do that into different sections. This one I named non-negotiable habits and then nice to have, but you could use this for personal habits and work, morning or evening. So you have two sections that get their own progress bar at the top. You can use only one of them if the second one is not useful to you. And then below each week, you're also going to find numeric trackers, and this one is also separated in two sections. The first one is meant for things that you want to do more of, and then the second one is meant for things that you want to do less of. And then you have your weekly to-do list and a room for notes. And everything that's over here that has a gray background, these are summaries that get created automatically. So you can see your weekly percentages up here. You can see the number of checked boxes for each habit each week. I always find this one to be really useful. You can see an average. You can also see a weekly average for your numeric trackers. So all of this gets created automatically. These are automated progress bars. So really all you have to do here is make a list of your habits, set your goals, and then track what actually happened each week. So those are all the features that are included in the template. You also get a settings tab that's completely optional. You can change the labels. For example, if you need to change any label throughout the template, you can do that from this table, and that way you don't mess with the formulas. So this tab is completely optional. You can also change the color of your progress bars. The weeks on your 12-month calendar tab can start on Sunday or Monday. You get to decide that. And you can create as many copies of the 12-month calendar, the goal planner, and the habit tracker as you need. You can create new blank tabs right here in this same file with the help of these 3 tabs down here. So as you can see, these tabs have little locks in them. That means you're not supposed to edit them. They are only there to help you create new copies. So if, for example, you wanted a new copy of the goal planner, you're going to jump into this tab, you're going to right click on the tab name, and you're going to select the option duplicate. And that's all you need to do. You double click in here to rename it, new goal planner tab. You can move it around to organize it, and you can start working on a new blank tab, and you can do that as many times as you need. C stands for calendar, GP goal planner, HT habit tracker. So these tabs, you're only going to use them to create new blank copies. So as I mentioned before, this new template merges together 2 templates that already existed in my shop before. You have the ultimate goal planner, and then you have the ultimate habit tracker. So in this template, you have both of those in a single file. And if you would like to learn more about each individual template, I'm going to leave the link to those video tours in the description. You can purchase this separately, or you can purchase it as a single template. I'm going to leave the links to all of that in the description down below. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. I hope that it inspired you in some way to either create spreadsheets or take your goals and your habits more seriously. And if you're interested in learning how to create your own spreadsheets, I'm also going to leave a list of the free tutorials that I have available down below. I'm also going to leave my email. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and I will be happy to answer them. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.